closing in on me. Through 3 to 5 hard labors for armed robbery. I had 2 years behind me, but I could not wait the time. Every time I thought about it, well, I died some more inside. I had stripes on my back, memories that hurt. For the only time I seen sunshine was when I went to work, digging ditches for the chain gang, sleeping in the cold. Oh Lord, please forgive me, 'cause I could not wait for road. I'm coming home to see you, Jesus. Well, I feel so close this time. Please take mercy on a soldier from the Florida-Georgia line. When they find me, they must kill me. Oh, Jesus, save my soul.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining me again.
I can't take that anymore.
We're going to have some fun tonight. Oh, yeah. Well, I got a nice warm cup of coffee here next to me on this cold, rainy, non-stop rainy weekend. Got a lot of stuff accomplished. Um, so, what we're going to talk about today is we have some very, very unusual pictures of an unusual Freightliner sitting out there somewhere amongst the weeds in Missouri, in the state of Missouri. So Tom Cline went ahead and emailed me a bunch of pictures of a Freightliner. I guess they have sitting out there on the property somewhere, I'm assuming. And he shared those with me, and I'm going to share those with you tonight. Hopefully, you guys will see what I see, how unusual this girl is. And I will point out, Tom mentioned it to me, and I didn't know what he was talking about until I saw the pictures. I go, "Ooh, okay." So I'll show you guys, and then who knows? Maybe it may be the next modeling project. Let's check it out together.
Well, I'm one of America's heroes, and when they shoot me down, won't you fly, old glory, proudly, putting my medals in the ground. I'm coming home to see you, Jesus.
All right, let's give Jamie Johnson a break. So, obviously, it's a Freightliner. It's probably a 60-ish Freightliner. It's a day cab. It's got the single headlight up front setup, and it looks like either the Freightliner offered these mods for the agricultural industry, or someone did a lot of work on this guy. Let's check it out together. I'm going to zoom in on what we need to see. Right about there. So I want to send a big giant thank you to Tom Cline for sending me these email pics. As you all know, or as you may not know, Tom Cline constantly contributes to my YouTube channel with being in the industry with great advice, tips, answers my questions. Sometimes answers my questions before I even knew I was going to ask them. And he's been incredible. He's been an example of what I got going here by happenstance of just a lot of guys who contribute and on my builds. And I mentioned this before, and unless you followed the previous episodes of different builds, I've literally have changed the direction of a build based on what somebody here was saying, pointing you guys. I got to stand on the other side of the camera because that's where the better microphone is. Anyways, and sure enough, based on what someone suggested or pointed out, we changed how I was going and went that route. So thank you for everybody, not only Tom, but everybody else on here who have contributed. Okay, let's check out the first one. So we all know Freightliner. You know what? I'm getting in your way all the time. Better get on this side of the camera. Let's give it that. It's open. There we go. There's our first photograph. The front of a Freightliner, and on this pic you can't see that it's a single headlight setup, but if you guys ever wondered what was behind the grill work and the white Freightliner badge, well, there you go. There's an example of the sheet metal work underneath the grill and your white Freightliner name badge up on top. And what's interesting in this pic, and you can see it, is I'm looking for my pointer. There we go. Is the cutout in the sheet metal for the airflow to feed the motor. Look how small that is in this particular model. It's just a small oval. AMT provides us with a big square rectangular cutout. Maybe that came along later, or that was for the models that had a more larger motor. I don't know. I'm just showing you what was sent to me. But that is absolutely neat photograph. I still haven't been able to figure out what these round ovals on the side are for, but look at that. I'm painting my radiator, as you can see on my dump truck there, black like everybody else does. But look at that. So I may have to go in there and do some changes. I'm not sure. Now, because I'm going to have a see-through grill on my Freightliner, I'm not sure how this silver color is going to stand out. Is it going to look cool? Is it going to look different? Is it going to look too gaudy? I don't know. But something I'm going to think about before I button her up. But anyway, since my cab is removable, I can always go in there and change it. But that was something I was not expecting to see. Thank you, Tom, for sending me these pics. Also, we get a chance here. You can see the rivet work that we're going to apply to our Freightliner. So it's different rivet work than what comes on your standard AMT out of the box kit. So I was glad I went ahead and did the mods I did on mine, because it does match pretty much exactly the prototype which we're looking at right here. For the single round headlight day cab versions of the white Freightliner models. Let's take a closer look. Okay, no. And this is just a more closer look at the sheet metal work under the name badge and the grill. And there's a nice close, better look at the radiator. The bumper has rusted away, it looks like, or somebody went ahead and painted it some color that took on a rust appearance after being weathered and aged in the sun for many years. So I won't speculate there, but that's a good shot. And you can see how tight the confines are where the radiator is enclosed just behind the radiator grill and inside the hood. I still can't figure out what those are, and I know they're not speakers, but look at that hole for the the breather element to get into the air box to feed, not the carburetor, but the motor. What would be a carburetor in a gasoline powered car. Go this way, go this way, go this way. Now, I spotted in three of the photographs I spotted, I think they were three. Um, I call them builder's plates, but I was thinking in terms of model railroading. They're not builder's plates. They're more, that one may be more of a builder's plate there. What's interesting, now, according to Tom, this thing sits out there in Missouri. But check this out. From what I was able to gather from here, this thing was built in Pomona, California. Pomona, California. I'm not far from Pomona, California. I'm actually pretty darn near. And that's where we, there was used to be once upon a time a huge old scale model railroad club. Very famous. It's been there since 1947. It's gone now, but due to politics. But it was located under the bleachers, the concrete bleachers of the Pomona State Fairgrounds. And I was a member of that club for many, many years up until it broke up. So I'm very familiar with Pomona. I did not know that Freightliner had a plant, I'm assuming, where they put together Freightliners out in Pomona, California. But this is neat. Now it's kind of fuzzy on the screen here. This is something where I'm going to have to actually, there's a lot of part numbers and vehicle specification, refer parts for details of installation listed below. Um, Built by Freightliner Corporation, factories in Portland. This is bleached out Pomona. And I can't read that one quite yet. So that's gosh darn interesting. Can I access the next picture here? Let's check out the next picture. See what we got. Now here is the rear. Here's a rear shot of our Freightliner, or Tom's Freightliner. Tell you, man, this is just an interesting setup on this Freightliner. So I can't tell here if it's a single axle or a double axle. But there's some sort of a diesel fuel tank, stacked for obviously the rig, but what setup did it have for agricultural purposes that they had to stick the fuel tank back here? Check out the window arrangements. Now that's correct for our day cab on our Freightliner that AMT provides. And AMT actually provides that part with the two window cutouts in their day cab kit, and it's right here. So that's pretty cool. Now that's a picture I was not expecting. Well, let's check it out closely. Let's get in there, look around. It's got a light green color, very similar to our dump truck that we're modeling, the prototype down in Austin, Texas. Let's see here. I'll just let you guys check it out. Looks like it's a single axle. So wouldn't that be a neat Freightliner to custom build for someone's project or next project? And we know where the prototype is. So as far as getting detail correct, that should not be an issue. Okay. What's unusual about this Freightliner is Tom Cline, when he first talked to me about it, he said that there was a large hump in the back portion of the cab that was not on our AMT kits. I did not know what he was talking about, but he's correct. Check this out. So normally, now this may have been done at the dealership or at the factory, or maybe aftermarket for agricultural purposes for the industry. But normally you have your cab, and it does go up before it banks off at an angle, a slight angle, to meet the top of the roof. That's correct on our models, uh, and that's correct on the AMT dump truck I'm modeling. Except I shaved down the nipple, I'll call it, that comes with the AMT kits. I shaved that down to match this. But look at this. It should be straight up and down, right? Check that out. This one is not straight up and down. This one has the same angle almost as the front, and then it comes out here. That's what Tom was talking about. I'll shut my mouth up and zoom in and let you guys check it out yourselves. Look at those tires. The front headlight on this girl here has been kind of bashed in a little bit, but it's still there. What an unusual feature to have, and what an unusual feature to try and replicate on an AMT kit, on a model. Very, very, very interesting photograph there. Let's go to the next one. Why does it bulge out on this cab, the rear bulkhead bulge out the way it does in this photograph? I've never seen that before, or maybe I've never looked closely at older models before. It's hard to say. It does come with a blind spot window on the door, the way our AMT kits come. Look at those rims. Beautiful pics, beautiful pics. Okay, we're going to switch over to another file, open up another bunch of pics. Be patient with me for a second. We're going to do Freightliner 1.0. Okay, concerning the setup it has, let's go backwards. For working agriculture, let's take a closer look at that together. It does look like a single axle setup. There's a feature I was going to weather this evening, is the triple battery box on the Freightliners. And as a matter of fact, if you can see mine, I have the 3 batteries AMT provides. This did not come on the AMT kit. I took this off of another AMT kit. I actually ordered it online on eBay. I don't remember what kit it was for, but what is that right there? No idea. So I see what I have to do tonight to weather my 3 batteries to resemble the 3 batteries on this Freightliner sitting out there in the state of Missouri. There you can see the rear of the cab where it's bulging out. Even the window is at an angle. Those rear windows are at an angle. Look at that. I did not see that. I assumed that it only bulged out in the bottom and the windows were straight up and down, but no, even the windows are at an angle. Interesting. Very interesting. Let's check out the next picture. So this is a great example of if you buy the AMT Freightliner kit and you've been bummed out because you've heard nothing but negative stuff about it, or it's slightly rough detail, maybe it's turning you off. And I saw somebody else talk about this on YouTube the other evening. Is AMT kits are fantastic because yeah, they need a lot of work, but there's your opportunity to go in and customize it the way you feel fit. So I mean, I'm looking at this here now. If this is coming out on camera, yeah, bulging that out would not be a big deal. So it gives you an example of the oddities out there and what you could do if something catches your eye. Kind of like this dump truck thing we did here together. Why not? Let me see. Okay, let's go picture number 2. That's the other side of the Freightliner. So once again, there's that bulged cab, or the cab that bulges out. Look, the windows are even at an angle. It's an example of how I like to do and how I'm gonna run my YouTube channel from here on out, pretty much till they stick me in a hole in the ground. It's gonna be the two-way banter, the sharing of information. It's some people aren't set up to do a YouTube channel or don't want to, or but they want to participate, or they have a lot of information to share or ideas, or point out where I've made mistakes. No problem. Everybody's welcome. And it kind of grew legs on its own and took off on its own. And during the builds, especially during the nitty gritty part of the builds in the beginning, I get a lot of contribution, or I have from time to time, and I really appreciate. I don't think there's enough money I could pay in the world to get that. And guys do it on their own, and makes them feel good, and definitely makes me feel good, because I would have never known something like this Freightliner we're looking at here even existed. Let's see, we're going to be running out of time here, so we're going to do 2-part video. The second part is going to be pretty quick, but I don't want to rush this at all. I'm actually pretty proud that Tom sent me these pictures, and I'm going to share them and take my time. And if it takes 2 parts, then it takes 2 parts. May not help you, may not help me, but these pictures will hopefully help a modder down in the future who wants to build something similar. And now he's got reference material thanks to a YouTube contributor or viewer and modeler who took time from his busy day to share what was out on his property with us. There you go. Now, this is a cool shot, and let me show you something. And maybe this is why Tom took the shot at this angle. We know or I've mentioned, and people may think I'm full of shit, that the AMT Freightliner, and I'm talking about the day cab, not the sleeper version, but they're both basically the same. Is I felt there's just way too much plastic in the front, too many layers, too many steps of plastic, and it makes the front of the AMT Freightliner kind of bulge up. You don't catch it at first, or the second or the third time, but eventually, when you're ensconced in these things like I am, you start to see it, and so I knew I had to sand smooth, at least on the day cab version of what we're modeling. I knew I had to sand back or take off a lot of that plastic to get it a more smooth, flatter. So that's coming out on the picture. I hope so. Flatter. And I pulled it off, and I'm damn proud about that. All it needs is the rivets. We'll cover that here in about a week or two. But look at that. What a fantastic picture. What a fantastic picture of the sheet metal work, the front angle, and how it comes down on this particular Freightliner, which matches the Freightliner I'm modeling that sits out there in Texas. But there you go. I am so glad I took my time and experimented, not knowing how it was going to come out, if I was going to crash and burn, but it worked out. Come on back to part 2. We're going to take a break right now before this thing cuts off. See you in part 2.